But let's welcome our experts, Dr. C.K. Narayan, Manas Jaiswal, Kunal Botra would be also joining us in some time. Dr. Narayan, market doesn't seem to be holding on to these 3-day gains which we saw, last week and on Monday, and we are seeing some correction. Yesterday we were talking about that how it is disappointing to see Bank Nifty giving up its gains of Monday and some gains of Friday as well. What's your thought, and what are your trading ideas on this backdrop? I'm assuming that there would be some sell calls.
Well, yes, Siddharth. First up, the index or the market as a whole, if you were to raise perspective a little, then you will find that this 3-day rally actually was a 50% correction of the fall that we had from the rally high of 15 May down. So that means that we are still doing a bit of a correction of that particular leg. Now that leg itself was a correction of the entire fall from Jan 2018 high. So overall the market seems to be in a corrective structure. And within that space, now that rallies are over, we must be cognizant of the possibility that there could be more on the downside. Now whether that will be created by global reasons or local ones, that of course remains to be seen, and how much we respond to the Italy thing, etc., that also the market will tell us. So given the fluidity of the situation, I would suggest that we should actually have both a long and a short which should be open at at the same time, so that you are positioned for the thing either direction. So from the stocks, from the stocks perspective for the long side, I would want to pick an NCC which finally stays that breakout which I had alluded to earlier in a different show, and the stock has now moved above 120. So I think even if there were to be a pullback of a couple of rupees on a softer open, it will still remain a buy. So NCC is a long for a target of 127, stop loss around 116.17. The second one, mixing it up with a short, would be a sell in Bank of India. Now most of the banks, like you rightly mentioned, Bank Nifty gave up considerable amount of ground. So I think PSU banks coupled with the bank which had some news in it, Bank of India not really, or rather disappointing markets with very poor numbers. So Bank of India 101, sell short with a stop 105, and we can look at a target 94 to 91.
Certainly, PSU banks have been correcting. They did show, a couple of days of decent bounce back. Some of them did see, formation of longs, but most of them rose because of short covering, and now they are seeing decent amount of correction. Bank of India is sell for Dr. Narayan. Manas, sticking with banking, ICICI Bank, one of the weakest name, in last trading session. We didn't see any short formation in yesterday's trading session, but on Monday when markets were up, ICICI Bank was underperforming, and that time we saw 6 to 7% built up. I'm assuming that those were short positions because yesterday we didn't see any built up. What are you seeing on charts on this heavyweight which has, a trend determining quality when it comes to markets? And Indigo, that is where we have seen 15% rise in open interest, short built up taking place over there.
Good morning everyone. Siddharth, I think ICICI Bank is the weakest private banking stocks available in the markets right now, because yes, we have seen some recovery in last 3-4 trading sessions, but stock could not sustain above 200-day moving average. And yesterday very clearly stock has broken the support of 290-292. Looking at the chart, because oscillators are showing negative crossover, the possibility is very high that it can break its recent swing low of 280 to 84 also, and it can go down and test 280. So take a short call here and keep your stop loss above 296. Second is a sell call on Indigo, where we saw some recovery few days back, but stock could not sustain above its 100-day moving average, and yesterday I think it closed below 200-day moving average. And looking at the charts, one thing is very clear, that stock has lot of resistance on higher levels. So I think here in a weak market you can create short position. Your target would be around 1170 and your stop loss should be 1245.
Okay, and Kunal, you too are bearish on ICICI Bank, but you are buying TCS. Can I assume that you are bearish on market?
Yes, Siddharth, and in fact yesterday in the second half also, at the closing segment, I mentioned a lot of sell calls indicating that the market trend could probably have reversed on the short term side. Now, ICICI Bank is a sell. Now, look at the charts, not just in the last 2 days, but look at the comparison of it since Wednesday. When the index sort of had a short term bottom, both Bank Nifty and Nifty rallied. ICICI Bank, look at the last 3 days or 4 days of chart structure. It's not just closed, below that Wednesday's closing, but in fact there's a a rising trend line, and the stock managed to just about come into touching distance of breaking that trend line. Given the weakness in markets, I believe that this trend line should be broken today, and you might see the stock struggling to find some bit of uptrend, and in fact it may go lower over the next few days and weeks as well. So that's a sell. 280 as a near-term target, stop loss 295. TCS is a buy. Interestingly, the IT stocks, they generally have a contra behavior as compared to the markets. TCS and most of these IT stocks, they've already gone through a 3-day, 4-day kind of a correction, 5%, 4%, 5% odd from its recent swing highs. And I believe that these stocks are now coming back to their key short-term support levels. So that could act as a good contra buy at current levels. Targets of 3600 on TCS, stop loss 3480.
Okay. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for those ideas. Let's